Well, friends, it may only be May 18th, the day I am filming this, but summer officially starts now. We have several transits happening now that are shaping the story of summer 2026 astrology, the next 3 months, and those transits are potentially life-changing. Yes, you may be tired of hearing from me and every other YouTube astrologer that a certain transit is life-changing because, those words get tossed around like freaking confetti at a Chuck E. Cheese kid's birthday party. However, what I'm going to talk about in this video are transits that, by their very nature, can propel you into a new life if you know how to use the energies. If you refuse to stay stuck in another status quo cycle where nothing ever changes, then this video is for you. Coffee up, friends. What we're going to talk about in this video is tension, an aspect known in astrology as a square. Squares often get a bad rap in astrology because, they can cause discomfort. But without discomfort, there's often no growth. Sometimes we have to feel triggered enough to take action. As your anti-doom, no BS astrologer, I believe squares can actually be super helpful because they can motivate us to get off the fence and get going. Because a square creates a condition in our lives that needs relief, release, rebuilding, restructuring. Right now, as I am filming this on May 18th, we have 2 major squares kicking off our summer of change. Now, these aspects, these squares are not just isolated to this moment, May 18th. They connect with what's happening the entire summer ahead. And they absolutely can be real catalysts for significant change in your life. First of all, we have Pluto retrograde at 5 degrees Aquarius, squaring Mars in Taurus. Mars just went into Taurus today, May 18th. And yes, it makes an exact square on the 24th of May with Pluto. This has an energy vibe that says, what you resist persists. You can have 2 fixed signed energies, butting heads, fixed signs, stubborn, resistance to change, unless it's a change they have initiated. Fixed signs do not like to be told what to do. Seriously, don't try it with them. This square can dredge up old shit from the past that's getting in way of your freedom. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius says purge, and Mars in Taurus says make me. And thus we have the tension of the square. So what are you resisting right now? What is something from your past you might be still stubbornly clinging onto despite all evidence to the contrary that it no longer serves you and is in fact standing in the way of your freedom? Check the houses in your natal chart where these energies are being activated, and you'll know where the tension is. But we don't want Pluto in Aquarius and Mars in Taurus fighting one another. We want to use this energy to create a solution. Mars in Taurus is a placement that trusts the body perhaps more than it trusts the mind. So how does your life and its current circumstances feel in your body? Because all that old shit could literally be clogging your pipes. Hey, Louise Hay says constipation is a mind-body indicator of an incomplete releasing because you're refusing to let go of old ideas from your past, old emotions, old stories. You get the drift. So Mars in Taurus is going to feel this resistance in the body for sure in some form or fashion. But also, Mars in Taurus has a tendency to double down on refusal because it's stubborn until there is a point of no return where they find themselves in a reckoning with their own stubbornness. So as you rethink ways to liberate yourself from your past, solutions need to feel right and aligned within your body. So what does that look like for you? let me know in the comments. Now, at the same time, we have Uranus and Mercury for the next day or two, as of May 18th, in Gemini, squaring the North Node in Pisces at 4 degrees. Uranus in Gemini and the North Node in Pisces are a big activating square for the next 3 months for sure. So we have the planet that rules change and awakenings, Uranus, conjunct the planet of the mind and new ideas, Mercury. So the solutions are there if you want them, but it requires you to absolutely tell yourself a different story about your life's situation. Because in that different story, you will start to see what is possible. So what is the different story you would like to be telling about your life? Let us all know in the comments. The Uranus-Mercury in Gemini vibe, squaring the North Node in Pisces, reminds us that we must also meld the mind with the spirit. It's not the tension of either or, it's alignment, it's fusion, it's both and. The North Node in Pisces squaring Uranus and Mercury is asking, can you have enough trust and faith in the new ideas you're getting for improving your life circumstances? And Mars in Taurus and Pluto in Aquarius with their square are bringing your attention to where you may say you have new ideas and trust. But is your body actually telling a different story? How might resistance to change show up for you in your body when you're trying to talk yourself into something? This might be a little different than the constipation angle we just talked about earlier. Then, on July 7th, Mars and Uranus meet up together at 4 to 5 degrees, Gemini. Still a square with the North Node in Pisces at 2 degrees. Pluto is still retrograde in Aquarius, but this time, Pluto in Aquarius is going to be squaring Chiron in Taurus. Mars has already moved on back into Gemini. So absolutely, themes of body and mind prevail over the next few months. So again, I really want to emphasize, this is not about splitting the two. This is really about having both of them be in alignment if you really want to create a change in your life. Chiron in Taurus is really going to show us where the words that we are speaking are either aligned or not in our body. We're going to feel viscerally every word of unaligned bullshit that you or anyone else is saying. Like when someone is bullshitting you, do you almost feel like a slimy sensation energetically over your body? You know what I am talking about? Chiron in Taurus is going to help you dial in that feeling in your body. Meanwhile, Pluto retrograde in Aquarius square Chiron is saying, cut the crap. This has got to go. You can't keep lying and affirming your lies or someone else's lies, because false words create a false reality. And ultimately, all of that blocks your ability to manifest what is truly aligned for you. In July, Mars and Uranus in Gemini can be a nervous system overload. We could have a short circuiting of our brains because we are being asked to release the old stories and rewire and rewrite our brains with the new stories. So what does your brain do under stress? Do you have insomnia, racing thoughts? Do you find it hard to concentrate? Do you distract yourself with doom scrolling? Are you just all over the place, unable to sit still? Really pay attention to this in July, because when this transit comes, it would be very helpful for you to already have in place a calming routine or practice that helps you feel good and not frenetic. Because your new stories about your new life are going to arise from what makes you feel good, not wired or anxious. What you speak with truth rather than a plan hatched in agitation or stress. What you do in the highest service of your spirit, not trying to run away from it or distract yourself away from it. Then, at the very end of summer, the lunar eclipse at 4 degrees Pisces on August 26th brings this energetic release to a very dramatic close. We have Uranus in Gemini, still in Gemini, squaring the sun in Virgo, conjunct Mercury, its planetary ruler. Mars will be in the deep emotional waters of Cancer. Venus in Libra will be opposite Saturn in Aries. By the time we reach this eclipse on August 26th, you will have spent 3 months, give or take, dealing with these squares that begin May 18th. You will be called to listen to your body, to welcome in new ideas, to align not just with what your mind is telling you to be true, but also what your body is telling you to be true. And you will be called to create with faith the next chapter of your aligned destiny without talking yourself into something, but instead having your words align with spirit and body in a way that may not have been possible up until now. The lunar eclipse in Pisces at the end of August has Venus in Libra, its ruler, but opposite Saturn in Aries. Can you give yourself permission to align your love and money goals in a way that respects your independence and your right to choose for yourself? As Uranus in Gemini squares Mercury and the Sun conjunction in Virgo, can you release a tendency for perfectionism and analysis paralysis and instead use your words with precision to create that which you do want, rather than nitpicking every good idea to death so that you never do it? Can you be done by the end of the summer with second guessing yourself with logic? And instead, can you rewire your brain into greater trust in yourself and maybe even the universe? Because this whole summer is not just about changing your current chapter. It's about rewriting the whole story of your life from here on out. So how are you going to use the energies this summer? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you want me to take a look at your personal chart and see what is going on, what houses are going to be experiencing these energies of the squares and the transit I talked about in this video, then you can always book a personal reading with me. The link is in the description. So thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Coffee and Cosmos. Would love to hear from you in the comments. What are you looking forward to creating in your life with the powerful, life-changing energies of summer 2026 astrology? Love you guys. Take care. I will see you again soon. Stella Wilde, signing out.